United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gracious Heavenly Father, as we come to you tonight, Lord, we are blessed by so many things. Lord, give us knowledge as to what we need to do for the city of Barling and the officers and the firemen and our staff. They're so gracious and good. Lord, we lift them up to you. Protect and watch over. Lord, we ask for a quality meeting where we will be happy in serving you and all that you do for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Welcome, everybody. Let's do a roll call.
Aaron Rowe.
Here.
John Manus.
Here.
James Davis.
Here.
Savannah Robinson.
Here.
Ken Cauley.
Here.
Bill Young.
Here.
Ron Sharon.
Here.
All right. Everybody's got their packets. If they've looked at the September 24th meeting minutes, we'd like a motion to approve those minutes as written.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
Got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by the same. All right, motion carries. All right, public input. Anybody here like to talk about any of the agenda items listed for the agenda? Anyone? Yes, sir. You can go ahead and step up and state your name.
Hi, my name is Josh Mickle with Mickle Griffin Engineer Surveyors. I'm here on behalf of SCRA to answer any questions the board may have about the borrow pit, which is in front of you on the agenda tonight.
Okay,
Appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
thank you much. Anybody else like to speak about anything on the agenda? No? All right, unfinished business, consideration of ordinance 513, repealing and replacing ordinance 507 and establishing water and sewer rate structures. Steve, you want to tell us what we're changing before we do the reading?
Yes, sir. What we're doing is the prices to us for the 2-inch connections have gone astronomical. And due to the increase in water rates from Fort Smith, it is necessary for us to make other adjustments to our fees. There are updates to Section 5, which the city has deleted the 1.5-inch connections since we do not offer these. The rates for the 2-inch connections were increased to $1,800 if the city installs a meter only, and increased to $6,800 if the city does the installation, and that is from scratch. That is everything you have to have when you do it. I recommend approval of the ordinance, and it is here for us to read, and Matt's here to read.
Yes. Can I get a motion to place it on its first reading?
Make a motion, we place it on first reading.
All right, got a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe.
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Cauley.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Sharon.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Matt, would you do the honors?
You bet. This is ordinance number 513, an ordinance repealing and replacing ordinance number 507, establishing water and sewer rate structures, charges, penalties, and tapping fees, establishing temporary water and sewer service guidelines, establishing sewer abatement charges for water used in filling of swimming pools, assessment of charges pursuant to Act 1053 of 1991, declaring an emergency, and for other purposes related thereto in the city of Barling, Arkansas. Be it ordained by the Board of Directors of the City of Barling, Arkansas, that Section 1, permanent water and sewer rate structure. The rates for water and sewer service shall be based upon water consumption as follows within the city limits of Barling. 1 to 2,000 gallons at $21.50 minimum, $11.77 sewer rate. Over 2,000 gallons at $6.16 per thousand gallons, and sewer rate at $2.45 per thousand gallons. Outside the city limits in Central City, it'll be $6.16 per thousand gallons. Section 2, disconnection of service. All bills for water and or sewer service are due upon receipt and shall be paid no later than the 27th of each month by 4:30 p.m. If the 27th falls on Saturday, Sunday, or holiday observed by the city of Barling, said payment is due by the end of the next business day by 4:30 p.m. If not paid timely, as aforementioned, the water and/or sewer services may be disconnected by the city of Barling. If, in the event that a particular premises is disconnected from the water and/or sewer system, the customer of said premises prior to reconnection and prior to obtaining service within the city of Barling at another location from aforesaid premises shall pay all delinquent charges, fees, and penalties in addition to a reconnection charge of $150 for the reconnection of the premises to the city of Barling's system, and shall be required to pay to the city of Barling a deposit in an equal amount to the amount of an average monthly utility bill for a 2-month period. Section 3, penalty. The city shall require an additional penalty of 10% of the balance due whenever a bill is not paid by 4:30 p.m. on the 17th of each month. However, if such due date shall fall on a Saturday or Sunday or legal holiday observed by the city, then such bill shall be due and payable by the end of the following business day. Section 4, improper connection. No water meter shall be installed upon the premises without permission of the city, and there shall be no dual connection or more than one user on any single meter. The only exception shall be for multiple family residences such as apartment buildings, commercial buildings, or trailer parks. These particular exceptions will allow multiple connections as approved by the administrator or a person designated by the city administrator, and shall be billed no less than a minimum monthly rate for each separate unit in the event of a commercial structure or residential unit. The facilities or services of the city of Barling water system shall not be furnished without a charge being made therefor. Section 5, connection fees. A, all persons connecting to the water system shall be required to pay a connection or tapping fee. B, the connection and tapping fees shall be as follows. 1, $300 for every connection tap installed. 2, in addition to each connection or tap installed, shall incur an additional fee based upon the size of the line installed, to wit, 5/8 inch or 3/4 inch, $460, 1 inch, $50, 2 inches, $1,800. 3, in addition, each connection or tap installed by the city of Barling Department of Public Works shall incur an additional fee based upon the size of the line installed, to wit, 5/8 inch or 3/4 inch, $1,700, 1 inch, $2,200, 2 inches, $6,800. Section 6, deposits. A, all persons requiring new service shall be required to pay to the city a deposit in the amount of $150 plus a non-refundable charge of $35 for the beginning of service. The balance of the deposit shall be refunded upon termination of service after all charges, assessments, and penalties have been paid. B, the deposit will be paid in full prior to the city beginning water service. Section 7, monitoring, technology, stormwater, and fire equipment assessments. A, pursuant to Act 1053 of 1991 as amended by Act 903 of 1993, there shall be assessed a monitoring assessment against each water meter, a charge of 40 cents per month, which amount shall be in addition to the rates set forth in this ordinance. B, there shall be assessed a technology assessment against each water meter, a charge of $1.50 per month, which amount shall be in addition to the rates set forth in this ordinance. C, there shall be assessed a stormwater assessment fee against each water meter, a charge of 50 cents per month, which amount shall be in addition to the rates set forth in this ordinance. And D, there shall be a fire equipment assessment against each water meter in the amount of $7.50 per month, in addition to any and all rates set forth in this ordinance. Section 8, temporary water and sewer service. A, persons needing temporary water and sewer service for construction purposes or for cleaning purposes may obtain such services by providing a $70 deposit where water taps have been made and meters are in place and water is available. Said deposit shall include a non-refundable service fee of $35. B, rates for temporary service shall be the same for permanent service. C, persons with temporary water and sewer service shall be billed for usage at the same time as regular customers and will be subject to the same late payment penalty. D, failure to pay for temporary service will result in the balance being deducted from the deposit and the service disconnected. Use of temporary service for reasons other than provided for in this ordinance may result in disconnection of service. Section 9, filling of swimming pools, sewer charge abatement. A, residents who have swimming pools are eligible for a one-time per calendar year abatement of sewer charges for the amount of water used to fill their pool. B, to be eligible, residents must complete and sign a statement regarding the size of the pool and the amount of water necessary to fill it. An abatement of sewer charges for that amount will be made on the following monthly bill. Forms for this purpose will be available in the water department. C, a swimming pool is defined as a permanent structure installed adjacent to a residence, whether above the ground or in the ground. For purposes of this ordinance, a wading pool or hot tub or jacuzzi do not qualify as a swimming pool. D, the city administrator or his designated representative is authorized to require proof of the size and capacity of a pool and may deny a sewer abatement if such information is not provided. Section 10, repealing clause. All parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 11, emergency clause. The establishment of a rate structure sufficient to pay costs incurred by the city of Barling from its supplier, costs incurred to comply with health and safety provisions of various statutes and regulations of the state of Arkansas, and its own overhead, is necessary to the fiscal welfare of the city of Barling, such costs being presently incurred such that an emergency is thereby declared to exist, and therefore this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after the date of its passage. Passed and approved this 8th day of October 2024, signed by Greg Murray, Mayor, and attested to by Florina Brown, City Clerk.
All righty, can we have a motion to suspend the rules requiring that it be read in 3 separate occasions?
Make that motion.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Got a second from Ron, roll call vote, please.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Coley.
Yes.
Bill Young. Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
All right, does anybody have any questions? What we changed in it was basically just the, it was the 2-inch, the 2-inch installations and the, for the tapping and nothing else, is that right? All right. Can we get a motion to approve the ordinance?
Make a motion to approve the ordinance as read.
All right. Got a motion?
I'll second it.
Got a second? Roll call vote?
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Coley.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
All right, and can we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
Make that motion.
Got a motion
I'll second.
and got a second. Roll call vote?
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Coley.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
All righty. Ordinance does pass. On to other unfinished business. Consideration of special use permit for the borrow pit. What I would suggest that we do on this and would be to have a motion to table this matter until the next meeting, once we're able to talk to the Board of Trustees for FCRA about where that money might be going that they're making from the dirt fill. And I would like, what I would like to do is request that those funds, if any that are made from that borrow pit, go toward the construction of the water tower and help with the 48-inch line that is coming through with the city of Fort Smith and the connection to that water tower. So that will be asked probably tomorrow at their board meeting, if that is okay with everybody here. Does anybody have any discussion about that?
I want to hear what he has.
Okay. Come on down.
Hi, everybody, again. Thanks for having me back. I wanted to start, just to your point, Mayor, that it may be worth some discussion tonight about the topic. The bid opening is tomorrow, so I have a number of contractors who are interested to know whether this is in the general favor of the city or not, ahead of their placing their bid, so they know how to price and accommodate that accordingly. But I also understand your concerns about wanting to do your due diligence and have those discussions. So I'm available at your discretion to answer any questions. I don't think there's been any significant changes since I presented to you guys in the study session and at the Planning Commission last night.
I understood the last time you were here a couple weeks ago, you made the comment that you guys wanted to do a study to find out what our water needs are and what they will be.
Yes, sir.
What is the purpose of that?
Yeah, so really that's separate from this discussion and the borrow pit. The only reason that those two discussions are tied is because of a conceptual map that was provided to us from 2010 and again in 2014 that showed a possible future water tower site on this particular property. So as part of our due diligence and understanding whether this was an acceptable piece to allow to have borrow and to try to understand the concerns or possible concerns from the city of Barling, we did look at an alternative site for a potential water tower. In that investigation and looking at historical documents from our office and from other engineers who were part of that mall concept that was being proposed at the time, we didn't find a study that looked at actual demand for the east side of the city of Barling to size a water tower or to say when that was going to be necessary. So our recommendation back to the city administrator was that at some point in the near future, a study would need to be conducted that looked holistically at the system within the city of Barling and looked at potential future growth, especially on the east side, to make sure that there was going to be adequate supply for any fire demands or any future growth that's coming. And that includes residential development, like was approved at the Planning Commission last night, but also if there's commercial development or industrial on the east side of town that is derived partially from the I-49 project.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
If we don't approve this tonight, will that create hardship for the project? Does that question make sense?
It does. I'm not sure that I'm able to answer that in full context.
It seems like it would delay things.
Yeah, so I think that the urgency that's been expressed to me from the contractors that are interested in this, and we've spoken with 4 contractors that are interested in this potential site that are all part of bids for tomorrow, is that they're in a game of having certainty to understand what's the availability and what's their risk tolerance, and what are they going to be taking on, right? Because if they're not able to select this site, then they will have to select another site where, number one, they may be paying more for their material, but number two, they'll have to change their logistic strategy for how they process the material and get it on site. This is the only site on the south side of town that we're aware of, or on the south side of the river, that we're aware of that has direct access onto the I-49 right-of-way and can use off-road equipment. So if another site is selected, either on the north side of the river or on the south side of the river, it will have to go on Highway 59 and Highway 22 and through some of the city of Fort Smith and city of Barling streets in order to be able to be processed and gotten onto site. And that requires a different equipment approach and different subcontractor approach than if you need off-road equipment to do it.
One more question that I have is, you're a well-respected professional in your field. So in the perspective, or in your opinion, your professional opinion as a professional engineer, do you see anything nefarious happening here with this?
So full clarification, I'm not a professional engineer. I represent my firm.
Oh, okay.
And we are licensed engineers. Nick,
So
one of our PEs, signed
That's
this.
the person.
Yes. But
Well, you still have a professional
and I do have
opinion.
a professional opinion on behalf of our firm because we've looked into this very extensively.
Sure.
I do think that this is a really good option for the city. It's a good option for FCRA, and it's the best option for the project in order to support it, and that's regardless of funds. So
the greater good.
correct.
It's better for
And-
the
and
greater
so,
good.
So one thing that I think that I would advocate for is that you consider this for the fact of the matter of, is this a good site to do it, and is the city comfortable with that, irregardless of what happens funding-wise? I think that it's a good thing to do, and I think that those funding discussions need to come separately.
So,
Thank you.
Mayor, what
So-
was your concern?
My concern is I'm looking toward the future in securing the funds that FCRA will be getting off of this. And there is no guarantee that the FCRA will spend it on infrastructure for like a water tower or helping with the 48-inch line. That's why I think we have the opportunity here to let their board understand where we're coming from, and we would express that we would like some of those funds to go toward the construction of our water tower, because we're in no financial situation right now to where we can't afford a $2.5 million water tower right now.
So are these questions gonna be answered at tomorrow's board meeting?
I would hope so, because that's what I was going to bring up with them, is that I have no problem right now that site be used for the borrow. where problematic is if FCRA will see the needs of the city of Barling and help us with those funds for the water tower and the 48-inch line that's coming across. Because that's infrastructure that if we push it aside, that's gonna be kick the can down the road. I don't like kicking the can down the road. We've seen what happens kicking the can down the road with the fine folks to the west of us on sewer and water projects. We don't want to end up like that. I would rather, if you're going to do the future, you build the infrastructure first, then everything will fall in place later. That's how I've always done things, is that you don't want to you just want to say, oh, we're going to go ahead and we're going to dig the dirt and then we'll deal with it later. Well, those funds may not be there later. Let's use those funds as we're getting them for the infrastructure.
What's your opinion, Steve?
Funds need to be in an escrow account and held to where we can use them and know that they're there for our use. Things have mysterious ways in years past of going some other direction. And I think that one thing you have, I have no problem with the borrow pit. And I think that they probably got a good scheme as you'll have, because we won't be left with a hole. It'll be dressed back and can be used. But the issue is the dollar amount, which you all have brought up because of the cost. There are several locations, as Josh has brought up, there are 2 paces where there's the contour at 480 will be left. You'll need that basically to have, in order to minimize the need or negate the need for any interior controls for the water system. If you have 2 towers, 2 bulbs, if you will, at the same height, water seeks its own level. You have the pumps down there. If you have it tied to the 48-inch, which we have talked with Fort Smith about it, then you can, even if you don't do it now, you still build the valve box and the tie at the time the line's constructed, so that when you do need the meter, it will already be there. You can open the valve and have at it. And this is where I can see Greg's comment is building for the future. But the question is, and that's the money, is at some time in the future when the trust is dead, goes away, we want, even if we don't need to right now, we would have the funds help to do it.
And it would be earmarked for that specific project.
Be earmarked for it. That's the concern. And everybody knows that the trust was set up to provide infrastructure and market for the good of the community. The good of the community involves also tying the water in, not only the 48-inch line that goes across, or 36 or whatever we have, but the use and what's going to be out there in the future east of 59, and having to go east of the interstate if anything is done out there, and it probably will be, because we'll have to bore 22 highway or find a sleeve to put under to get there. The abandoned the sewer that we used to use, the sleeve is still under 59, and you can get under 59 to provide water to the south of H Street and south of the borrow pit if they ever develop that. That's already there. What you do is you pull the sewer line out and clean the transit pipe that carries it, and then you put in clean water line pipe and go from there. And it's been done many times before. So what I'm saying is, yeah, there's a reason, and yeah, this tie to the 48-inch will further unite Fort Smith and Barling and the surrounding area and provide water in an alternate flow. If something goes wrong, you turn one valve off and you go another direction.
And I would add 2 items to what Steve said. Is we've spoken to the City of Fort Smith Utility Department in recent weeks to confirm their willingness to be able to allow the City of Barling to have a future connection to the 48-inch line, which I think would be huge to be able to fulfill a potential future water tower. The second comment, which kind of ties back into Savannah's question, would be that regardless of an escrow account or funds held for this particular project, whether there's going to be a need for a water tower is going to be driven by the future growth of the city and additional demand coming from I-49. So whether this project gets approved and whether funds are generated from this and a pad-ready site is produced at the end that can drive tax benefit back to the city, it doesn't matter whether that happens or not right now. As to whether there may or may not be a water tower, that's going to come based on demand and growth from the city, no matter what.
But the money to pay for it is what we're talking about right now.
Correct, I understand, but I guess my counter argument to that would be that if you don't approve this and there's no funds generated and you're not left with a pad-ready site that's easier for development, then it makes it more difficult for developers to come
We
in.
just wanna know what cards are on the table before we play our hand.
Correct, I understand, and that's the reason that I provide that as context.
Question. How much money will be generated by us selling this dirt, whatever, to build a pad? Do you have any idea? Is
Yeah.
it $1 million?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm not sure. It'll depend on two things. One, it'll depend on what's the price of the loose fill material itself per cubic yard, which is generally how the industry looks at it. And as of coming into this, that hadn't been set in stone. They're trying to negotiate that right now as we speak. In general, average prices per cubic yard of fill material in this area are anywhere between $4 and $10 a cubic yard. And there's anywhere between 200 and 400,000 cubic yards of material. So I think if you look in that context, yeah, $1.5 million to $4 million on the very, very high end.
I agree with the mayor. We need a thumb on it just to see where that money goes.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion to table this till the next board meeting?
Can I make one more comment before we do?
Yeah.
I just want to say that I think it's kind of silly to hold progress hostage and prevent progress when we could leverage politics in the near future. Because I think right now we're preventing from work from getting done. I know y'all don't agree. I just wanted to say it.
I view it as just a delay to get
I
an
think-
answer from
Mayor,
FCRA.
I
Are we
think-
gonna,
I
are we
think-
gonna be able to get an answer tomorrow though from them?
Oh.
I think,
See, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
You're wanting to table it, but we're not gonna guarantee that, what you're wanting to find out tomorrow.
Right.
On a table deal.
But it'll give us a good gauge of what their thought process is.
Could
Well, if
be,
they don't pay
couldn't
for
be.
it, we'll just find another way to pay for it. We'll have revenue from all the people who are gonna live here and all the sales and everything else is gonna bring in. I mean, nobody's gonna go without water. We're a first world country. We'll figure it
think-
out.
I think we're in favor of this. I mean, it's best for everybody, but we want to see how much money it's going to generate and what they're going to do with it. I mean, my sentiments are that's in Barling's city limits, and they're going to take $1 million and say, dang, we'll take care of that later. I think it is,
I agree.
That's not what I'm saying.
as city council members, we'd like to know where that's going and how much they're going to raise.
Well, that's what I'm asking is, are we gonna be told tomorrow?
I doubt if we will.
Okay.
Well, we let
I doubt
Charleston
if we
borrow
will.
a whole trash truck in good faith. Why can't we give them this in good faith and get what we need on the back end? Or Pine Meadows subdivision, we didn't worry about that infrastructure on the front end. Those people are still worried about their streets. We're not doing anything to help them.
Who?
I'm just saying. Pine Meadows.
Pine Meadow is on the paving for 2026,
Well,
both the streets, because we've already heard from the highway department for that.
good deal.
I will say that in doing our due diligence on this particular piece of property and in looking at feasibility for future development, for not only this particular site, but also the adjacent sites that FCRA owns within the east side of Barling and the remaining portions that they own in Fort Smith, the FCRA has asked me to tell you guys that there is a willingness to spend on infrastructure, and whether that's extending a water line across H Street to help a future development, or whether that's putting in 12-inch water line in a loop to be able to develop. That's to be determined. It's not quite sure what that demand or need is going to be at this time.
I think until we get some answers, of what Ken said, where's the money gonna go? Is it gonna be earmarked? Is it gonna go
General
into a
fund.
slush fund and then
Retirement
distribute it
account.
out later? And then it comes time to do this project and there's no money. So I think that until we get some questions answered, I think we should table this, until those questions are answered.
The bid opening is tomorrow morning at 10. It's electronic. And whether or not they break the prices out or not, sometimes they're available when they do a bid breakdown. But I have heard from 3 bidders, and there are no amateurs. The other thing is that knowing the prices, we have a meeting tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 at the trust, and it is a rescheduled meeting, if you will. Normally it's on Thursdays, but this is tomorrow. Electronically, we can look at the bid being posted. Probably by noon, they should have it up on the crawl for the Highway Department website. We may not have a price for we'll have a low bidder. That doesn't mean we know exactly what if that bidder's wanting to come out of this pit or not. The one man that was the most interested talked to me about the pit, and he talked about the access, and the access is, as Josh said, it's not any city streets. They also talked to us about a lay-down area and an office space, and I made a recommendation, and I own no stock in the company, and we don't either. But it is a site in the city of Barling, and the laydown and the equipment and the usage would be so that they're not having to cross any public roads, and the deliveries would come in by their, like steel or whatever, would be coming in on 22 or 59 highways. So we wouldn't have them on the city streets. And if you all don't know, that's one of the key things about trying to keep people off of H Street that goes to the park when they bring in the river crossing guys and they go to train, is to try to keep them from getting on the city streets even though they've got big vehicles with bigger tires. But a truck traffic to haul this, whether they haul it in ukes or dump trucks, will tear up your roads.
So Mayor, you're going to this meeting
Yes, I'll
with
be there.
FCRA,
Yes.
and you're gonna voice our concerns.
Absolutely.
And if you can get an answer,
If we get an answer, if they give us, yes, we will do this, we will put in escrow, or we will put those funds toward the water tower project and all that, then I'll call a special meeting and we'll approve this thing. I have no problem doing that. But I want their board to understand what's really going on, is that we need help with the infrastructure, and in the past, I think we can all agree that the infrastructure is not really getting completed in a timely manner, quick enough. And this is one way that we can guarantee that we're not gonna have to kick this down the road. We know we'll have the funds to fund this project. You want growth, you gotta put the infrastructure in first. You don't put it in last. And that's my feelings toward it. I mean,
I agree.
and
I don't disagree with that. I just
Where's the
think
meeting
we're
at
not,
tomorrow?
we're not good
It's,
neighbors,
the
so why would
media
they be
center
good neighbors?
at the FCRA Media Center at 3:30. The thing is, it'll help the citizens of Barling not have to, we don't have to increase anything. We won't have to scrounge and cut budgets or anything like that to find the
raise
money.
water rates.
Yeah, or raise the water rates, to fund for a new water tower. So, you gotta look at it that way. I'm doing my best to, I'm looking out for Barling first, okay? Barling comes first, I'm also trying to help out Fort Smith just a little bit with the 48-inch line, but, Barling comes first if they're taking Barling land to fill that highway, but so, The chair would love a motion to table this matter to the next meeting.
I move that we table it until the next meeting or until our questions are answered.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Got a second, can I have a roll call vote?
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus,
Yeah.
James Davis,
I'm not sure about this, but I'll say yeah.
Savannah Robinson,
No.
Ken Coley,
Yes.
Bill Young,
Yes.
Ron Cherim.
Yes.
All right. We'll table that to the next meeting until after we talk to FCRA. Alrighty, on to new business.
Before we go on any part, so
Yes,
what
sir.
happens if we don't come up with nothing out of this deal? Then where we
Which we're
going?
not likely.
I mean, you wanting questions, so there you go.
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask them point blank, we're gonna get a feel for their board members. I'm pretty sure some of the board members would vote in favor of allocating some of those funds to the water tower. But we got,
Well, we'll check it out tomorrow. I think I'll be there at that too. I'll be
it's
there
gonna be,
tomorrow.
it's in their hands now. It's
That's
all
fine.
about them, what they wanna do. That's what it comes down to.
So there's no problem with the dirt, just a problem with the money.
Yes, it's a lot of money, it's a money
That's it.
problem.
It's a money problem.
Not a dirt problem, it's a money problem. All righty, new business, consideration of ordinance 512 prohibiting engine brakes within the city limits of Barling. Mr. Steve, you wanna tell us a little bit about that before we have the reading?
We had a citizen came and asked us to do two things, and this is the first thing, and one was engine braking, and we're having a pretty drastic effect on the citizens that live on either side of 59 Highway. And it's especially when they come off the bridge this way and basically when they hit the K Street intersection. And engine braking, to the folks that don't know about the restrictions of what you can call it, jake braking or whatever. And apparently it disturbs quite a few folks, and with the trucks at all hours of the day, used to, there wasn't anybody that lived around this thing. But you have constant traffic. The other thing that they asked for, the lady asked for, was a speed check and a speed limiting. And we have folks that come off that bridge and they're way up above the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. And one of the things they asked for was going down to 45 or 40. And we've had some wrecks out there and T-bones that probably 40 or 45 would have still been a drastic wreck. But anyhow, that's what it's about.
We ought to get the state to put up some signs down there for crossing, road crossing there for H Street.
I don't think a stoplight would be the.
Not a
answer,
stoplight, just road crossing.
Unless they went to 4 lane.
T intersection.
Yep.
Okay.
All righty, can I get a motion to place it on its first reading?
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, got a second, roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Coley.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Cherim.
Yes.
All righty. Mr. Matt, would you do the honors of reading that?
I will. This is ordinance number 512, an ordinance prohibiting the practice known as motor braking or engine braking within the city limits of Barling, Arkansas, providing penalties for such and declaring an emergency. Whereas it is the finding of the Board of Directors from the city of Barling, Arkansas, that numerous complaints have been made regarding the practice of motor braking or engine braking by vehicles, and that the noise created by this process is disruptive to businesses and residents with homes and businesses situated near the city's streets and highways. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Directors of the city of Barling, Arkansas as follows. Section 1, it shall be unlawful for the driver of any vehicle to use or operate or cause to be used or operated within the city of Barling, Arkansas, any mechanical exhaust device or motor brake or engine brake designed to aid in the braking or deceleration of any vehicle which results in the excessive, loud, unusual, or explosive noise from such vehicle, or otherwise engage in what is known as engine braking or motor braking. Section 2, any person, firm, or corporation violating this ordinance shall be guilty of a violation, and upon conviction hereof shall pay a fine not exceeding $500 for each offense. Section 3, whereas present traffic regulations are inadequate to control noise and traffic in areas covered by this ordinance, and it is of the utmost importance to provide for the health, safety, and peace of the citizens of Barling, Arkansas. An emergency is hereby declared to exist. Therefore, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption and publication, passed and approved by the Barling Board of Directors on this 8th day of October 2024. Greg Murray, Mayor, and attested to by Florian Brownson.
All righty. Can I get a motion to suspend the rules requiring that it be read 3 separate occasions?
Can we have a discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chief, how hard is this to enforce?
It's very obvious. I mean, they've either engaged their engine brake, retarder, or they haven't. So, I mean, and then we've got the law in place there, the ordinance.
Okay.
My thing is. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, that particular device, in my opinion, is for, you know, a hilly area like Colorado, when you're going steep hill grades. I really don't see the need, and it probably depends on the load, but I don't think the load capability being the issue coming off 59 Bridge, why they would need to do that. That's just my opinion.
And Mayor?
Yeah.
When will this go into effect? Are we gonna put up signs or something pretty quick?
We'll work on, I think we'd be working on the signs to get those put up along 59 Highway.
Okay, we're passing all this. and I just-
The ordinance after passing, if it's enacted, has to go to the highway, you have to furnish it to the highway department. And the highway department's traffic guys are involved, and it's a real sign that comes
Okay.
from the highway department's posted up there.
I just sort of, yeah, okay.
All right. Can we get a motion to suspend the rules for the 3 separate readings?
So moved.
All right, got a motion, do I have a second? Got a second by Bill, roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Collie.
Yes.
Bill Young. Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
Anybody got any other questions or anything? All right, we'd entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
So I'd like to make that motion.
All right, got a motion by Ken, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second. Roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Collie.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
And can we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion, second? Second by Bill. Roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe.
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Collie.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
All righty, ordinance is passed. Before we get to the financial report and everything, Ron, would you like to make a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session.
All right, do I have a second? Second by Bill. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed by the same. All right, we are going to go into executive session for a personnel matter. Welcome back, everybody.
I gotta start over.
Are you back on?
We're good? Yep. All right, are we back, ready to go? All righty. We're gonna go straight into the financial report at this time.
No.
We got one more deal,
Okay,
tax
one more,
rate.
I'm sorry, consideration of resolution 24-09 for certification of the tax rate to the county clerk. Mr. Steve?
This has to be done at each go-round each year. You have to brief it, and you have to read it through your minutes, and it's a resolution. Each year, the resolution has to go to the county clerk and the recorder, certifying the amount of millage that you have to be collected in the forthcoming year. Certificate is required no later than November 2024. Attaches a copy of the resolution certifying the rate of tax to be levied on the real and personal property within the city in 2024 to be collected in 2025. The resolution also directs the county clerk to place a certified amount on the textbooks of the county and collect the tax in the same manner county and state taxes are collected. The resolution reads, Resolution 24-09, a resolution for the certification of tax rate to the county clerk. Be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the City of Barling, Arkansas, the mayor and the city clerk of the City of Barling, Arkansas, be and are hereby authorized to certify to the Sebastian County Clerk, Greenwood District, that the rate of tax levied by the municipal corporation of the City of Barling on property within said city for the year 2024 collected in 2025 is 5.0 mils real property and 5.0 mils personal property on the dollar of assessed value, of which 5.0 mils is on real property and 5.0 mils is on personal property for the general fund. Further, such officers are authorized to direct the county clerk to place such certified amount upon the tax books of the county and collect the said tax in the same manner that county and state taxes are collected. Resolved this 8th day of October 2024, Mayor Greg Murray, and attested by City Clerk Florine Brown.
All right, anybody got any questions on this? Discussion? If not, we'd like a motion to approve resolution 24-09.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 24-09.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second, roll call vote, please.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Haynes.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Colley. I had to mess up your.
Yes, yes.
Bill Young. Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
All righty, moving right along. How about a financial report?
Okay, I don't have much for the last 4 weeks, not much has changed, but looking at your financial report, the general fund revenues, sales tax is still up. It's up almost $80,000 compared to where it was last year this time. For city sales tax, county is almost to the dollar the same, so theirs is not increasing. But building permits are also way up, like $65,000 so far this year compared to last year. So that's about it for revenues. Not many changes in general fund expenditures. No one's really spending much right now, actually. The street department, though, the street revenue, property taxes are up about 14%. And I expect next month, I should know for sure when we get that big check how much they'll be up overall, but they're looking pretty good. Everything else is right where we projected it to be. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions?
On the new subdivision on 8th Street, have we had very many permits being bought for that? On 8th Street?
Yeah.
Four?
Four
Okay.
have been issued
Okay.
today.
I did 4 appraisals, I just making sure that they bought permits or
Yes.
whatever. That-
Joe does
that
those
ought to
drives
go
all the
real
time,
good.
making
Thank
sure.
you. Yeah.
Any more questions? Okay.
Questions? All right, Mr. Steve, it is all yours for the administrator report.
real briefly, we've got the solar lighting answer, and we're not gonna have solar lighting. They only wanted $750,000 in first cost for the solar lights. And they wanted more light fixtures, like between 50 and 80 fixtures for this lighting. And the bottom line is, it is only going to be about $115 a month to have the lighting that they want to have down there on the, and these are on both the on and the off ramp down here. The other consolation is that they've agreed, and I brought in for you all the picture or the plans that are in the bid tomorrow for the road to remain open so we can get the people out to the model airplane strip and our folks out to the lagoons. And they're gonna, these roads, they're replacement roads, when they change them, are gonna be better than what we had. So for $115 a month, I think we could finally fix that.
Can
the
you
other-
fix that Lagoon Road too?
That's what we're talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing, we have to go down, October 24th to the state, and we have to make an 8-minute presentation for a park grant. We made the cutoff this time. And, Megan and Kim are working on the, script and, what we've got, and we've got the, also the drone flight that showed all the folks out there wandering around in the celebration. But the grant is to put in a second restroom, and it'll be north of the new pad for the new pavilion, and to extend another 1/4 mile of paved track, and to put concrete handicap parking in there. And in the second part is down inside the original track loop, there is a shade spot to put a set of exercise playground equipment for adults, senior kids, whether it's push-ups or chin-ups or whatever you're gonna do. It's not gonna be like for the little kids. Maybe we'll get all the big kids off the little kids' stuff then, so they can have a playground. But that's the equipment that's asked for, and we've had several looks at that. And then the last thing but not least is we made the last piece of right-of-way, which the highway department had misfiled something, but we got it for the sidewalk project, which means that probably after the fall, we'll get to go to bid on the sidewalks, starting at 22nd Street and headed for Casey's. It'll be on this side of the road, and sometime we'll have to get some on the far side of the road to tie up to Fort Smith, but you take your life in your hands walking through that valley of death right now. That's it.
All right, that's it. Oh, yeah, during the executive session, no action was taken. We actually tabled the matter until the next meeting. All righty, any announcements? Anyone have any announcements? When is citywide cleanup? October 25th and 26th.
Yard sale this weekend.
We got the citywide yard sale. That is very popular on Facebook. Citywide yard sale this weekend.
Somebody asked, where's this at? In New York?
Where's it at? It's citywide, so somewhere in the city we'll have a yard sale this weekend. Also, if anyone is interested in our Christmas parade, please get in touch with Megan or Kim down at City Hall. I know there's a lot that are interested in that, so get a hold of them. Anybody from the public like to talk about anything on non-agenda items? Anyone?
How's our pavilion coming down there?
How is the pavilion?
Is it coming along down there?
Yeah, it's good. I think, the last 4 poles were just being finished, painted, and they just finished, so I was thinking, I think they were in a game plan today to put it up, so.
Okay.
Are we sending out notices to businesses in Barling about the parade if they wanna build a float?
We're getting a hold of them. It's a little slow process right now. I've contacted just about every high school known to this side of the Mississippi about a marching band, but it seems like they're all got a jazz competition that weekend, so.
Johnny and I can do the drum.
Okay, if you
drummer
guys can do
voices.
the
We got
one-man
it.
band and get
You
on
can
your.
play the bass and I'll do the snare.
You got it. All right, anybody from the public? Yes, sir.
Hi, Josh Mickle again. I would like to take my 2 minutes of public input time to urge the council to reconsider tabling the Borrow site vote that you made today. Due to the urgency and messaging that you're providing to national contractors that have done a lot of due diligence looking at this site and looking to bring value to the city of Barling, I'm not sure what the city of Barling gains by deferring this topic in the future. You're saving taxpayers money now by providing them the best location. You're saving taxpayers money in the future by preparing a pad-ready site that will encourage future development and of tax-generating businesses. These firms have spent a lot of time looking for this, and if they don't get the material here, they will go to the city of Fort Smith and choose a site, or they will go to the city of Greenwood and choose a site, and the tax dollars will be going somewhere else. So I really urge you to reconsider the vote. The money discussion is really a separate issue that's about how do you fund future infrastructure that's going to be needed whether you develop this site out or not. And I think that this is really in the best interest of the taxpayers. In addition, I'd like to add that I mentioned that FCRA plans to invest in many infrastructure projects that they've communicated to me. We're on contract with them to do some feasibility studies for about 255 acres within the city of Barling, looking at future waterways, future roadways, future residential developments, future water extensions. And we're also looking at how do we get access to the lagoons long-term as part of RDOT's project with Park Road improvements or possible realignment at the intersection of Highway 22. All of this costs a lot of money just for a design and investigation look, and the infrastructure costs are going to be significant on the back end. So this is not only a water tower discussion in my mind, this is a much bigger discussion that needs to be had between the beneficiaries, but I don't believe that it should hold up this project.
I agree. Are you guys sure that you want to let it go tonight? I would reconsider.
I think we're in favor of them taking the fill. And 100%, I think it's the smartest place to take it, everything like that.
Yeah.
But we need a little bit of input as to this $1 million, where's it gonna go?
We need some clarity.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
And I
You know-
don't think one day is going, and we can get an answer tomorrow
And Steve
possibly.
and the mayor will be there tomorrow, and if
One
they tell them tomorrow, say, hey, this is what we plan on doing, we'll call a special session and we'll do it, we'll vote, whatever.
Yes, and I understand that, and I understand your comment, Mayor Murray, that one day,
That's what I'm doing.
but one day will make a difference in these contractors. I have 4 people that I will call when I leave this meeting to tell them the outcome. And so I just want to impress the urgency upon you. And I understand your position one way.
Maybe you can call Daniel Mann and tell him, and we can get something done that way.
Certainly, but that won't impact what I'm able to tell contractors tonight if you wait until tomorrow to have those discussions at a board meeting.
He's doing business. That's what he's doing.
Business. And we're doing the business for the city, so. Mr. Ron, would you like to do the honors?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? I got a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed by the same. We are adjourned. Folks, have a great day.
I hope you have a really good birthday tomorrow to make up for